Hello everyone, my name is Isaac Sugunro. I am a SharePoint consultant, and today I am going to be going over what metadata is. So in our agenda, we're going to define what metadata is, what does it mean, and we're going to talk about the benefits, and we're going to talk about how to create it in SharePoint for our lists and document libraries. So let's go ahead and get started. Metadata is basically pieces of data that identifies something. So when you're at home or when we walk out of our door, all around us there are things, and metadata defines those things. They're pieces of data about those things. So for example, let's think of a car. Different vehicles have metadata. They may have a make. Well, they will have a make, a model, a year, type, a color, VIN number. These are just some of the examples of metadata that you can have for a car. You can have much more, but I just chose these. So, we can think of a car as an Audi Q2 model, 2016, four-door, blue, and then a VIN number. All these things are pieces of data that identifies a type of car. For another example, think of books that you may have read. When you go to a library or to a bookstore, you have metadata that defines, you have pieces of data that defines a book. And these pieces of data, the combination of those pieces of data is what you call metadata. So for example, beginning SharePoint 2013, author Steve Fox, publisher 2013, the ISBN number, how many pages, the type of book it is, or a brief description. All of these put together defines a certain type of book. So what is the benefits of metadata? If you think of when you go to the DMV or when you go to the grocery store, it's easy to find what you're looking for if you know what the metadata is. So for example, when you walk into a DMV and you need to renew your registration, if you ask the help there and you give them your VIN number, the make and model of your car or your license plate, it identifies your vehicle because those pieces of data are unique to your vehicle. Metadata also helps you to organize, it helps you to categorize. You can also filter and you can also sort. You can basically narrow your search down to something that you're looking for if you have metadata set up. So let's go through a demo in SharePoint. So what you're looking at here is Office 365 SharePoint, and you're looking at a books. I have this books list, and just to be sure, I'm going to show you how I created this list. If you click on Site Contents in the left-hand corner in your quick launch, or if you come up here to the cogwheel and you click on Site Contents here, is another way to get to it. If you click on that, and right here at the top, this New, you click on New, Create List, and you can put in your list. And I had put in books. And a list basically allows you to gather information, sort of like an Excel spreadsheet in some ways. Now let me go back to my books list. My books list, what I'm going to do is I want to enter in information about some of my favorite books or just books in general. But in order for me to do that, I need to first create metadata. When I created this books list, it gave me by default this title column. And I'm going to add other columns, and these columns represent my metadata. So I have a title, which is good. I'm going to also add an author column. Author. And it's going to ask you what type of information it is. You have different options. You have single line of text, multiple lines of text, number, a yes or no, person or group. All these different types that's going to define your piece of data. Also for my book, I want to collect publish year. So I'm going to go through this really quickly. Publish year. I just want numbers only. So for my publisher, just that. I'm going to also create an ISBN number. So I'm going to make that a single line of text because ISBN sometimes has dashes in them. So I'm going to keep that a single line of text. I'm also going to create another column. Oops. Add column, single line of text. Actually, I'm going to make it a number because this is the page count. So page count, basically how many pages are in that particular book. And in the last column I'm going to create the type of book it is. For this one, I'm going to show you another way on how to create a column or a piece of data column. So let's go up here at the top right. I've been creating it by clicking on the add column here. Another way to create a column or metadata is by clicking here in the top right. You go to site contents. You go to list settings. And then in your list settings, if you scroll down a little bit, right under here where it says column, scroll down and you click on create column. So this is another way of creating a column that represents a piece of data that you want to collect. So I'm going to call this type of book. I'm going to make this a choice column. And you can have any number of options, choices here or options. So I'm going to have technology, should I spell that right? Public speaking. Let's also add self-help. Okay. And I want it to appear as a drop down. I don't want a default. So click OK. And let me go back to my books list and look at all my columns. As you can see, I have title, author, publisher, ISBN number, page count, and type of book. Now what this is essentially allowing me to do is whenever I come in here to add a book, you click on new, it's going to present to me a form with an entry for the pieces of data that I need to identify that particular book that I'm entering in. So let's go ahead and add a book. Let's say, for example, for the title, beginning, SharePoint 2013 development. And let me grab the author here, or authors. Steve, Fox, Chris, Johnson. Publisher is publisher 2013. I'm just going to start copying and pasting. Copy. For the ISBN number is that. For the page count, it's 456. And the type of book, and if you remember this column, I had made it a drop down. So I'm going to pick technology and save. So let me save that. Okay. So as you can see, for that particular book, Beginning SharePoint 2013, these are the pieces of data or metadata that I have defined for this book. I am going to go ahead and add a few more books. Let me just do a quick edit here. And I'm going to copy what I have in my Excel spreadsheet so this can go much faster than what it is. So copy. And I'm just going to paste a few. Paste. Allow. And let that, yeah, there you go. So I've added quite a few books with their metadata. Let me exit. Now imagine this list of books. Imagine there were hundreds or even thousands of books. It'd be somewhat difficult to look for a particular book, but you can narrow it down by searching or by sorting. So for example, it gives you an option here when you click up here at the top. You can group by type of book. So if I group by, as you can see, it groups it by, so I can just narrow it down to what area, what category. So public speaking, or self-help book, or technology books. You can also just search. So let me come here and undo that, and I can come through and I can say filter by. So if I say filter by, just give me the 2013 books only, apply. And there you are. So this goes to show the power of metadata and why it's so important to add metadata to your lists and libraries. I hope you have had a better understanding of what metadata is, and thank you.